The color red. It's powerful, it's sexy, it's dangerous, and at the moment, very trendy too. Join me today as I show you how to incorporate red into your makeup looks using a few different techniques. Hello, my name is Eb. I'm a Sydney-based hair and makeup artist, and this is the culture of beauty. Red has seen a major surge in popularity on the runways. And even though, as we speak, my red stockings are on their way here to me in the mail, a much easier way to jump on the red trend is to incorporate it into your makeup look. We'd kind of stepped away from bold makeup looks over the past few years and throughout the pandemic, and everyone was embracing this like clean girl aesthetic, but I am very pleased to see that that is slowly fading away and people are now embracing more bold, glamorous and unique makeup styles. I've done kind of an extreme look today, but hopefully you can take some different techniques that I've used today to incorporate either into your daily looks or your evening looks as well. So join me as I dive into one of the most iconic makeup pigments, the color red. Let's go. I'm gonna start with the eyes. I've already done my base makeup. I'm wearing the Bare Minerals matte tinted moisturizer, but you can see I'm quite glowy, and that's because I put like a glowy sunscreen on underneath. So I might touch that up later and just mattify it a bit. I'm gonna begin with the Tarte Shape Tape Eye Primer, and I'm going to attempt to do red eyeshadow cut crease type of look. But we'll see, because my eyes are quite hooded, so it's a bit tricky to get a proper cut crease going on these hooded babies. This is a really easy to use primer. It's just a wind up little crayon type stick. So I'm just gonna put it all over the lid and I'll tap it in with my fingers. I don't have any red eyeshadows, so I'm gonna use blush. This is the Fenty Cream blush and the shade is called Daiquiri Dip. It's almost like a corally red, so I'll try and stay within that theme. And I'm just gonna take a Morphe M433, a fluffy brush, and just load it up. So this is a cream formula, but I believe it dries down to a powder or quite matte, so that's sort of what I want for today. All right, let's begin. So I'm going to start on this outer edge, kind of work it around the outer crease. I'm just taking it under the eye a little bit as well, and just taking that top bit all the way across. I'm just lifting it into sort of like a wing shape. Just really buffing out those edges. So I've only really put product on the brush once and it's going quite a long way. I'm just gonna deepen up that outer corner with a bit more red, the same red that I was using. I talked about in a previous video how red pigment was derived from ochre in a lot of ancient cultures, so ancient China. In Aboriginal culture and in Aboriginal culture today, ochres are still very widely used. But in ancient Aztec culture, red pigment was derived in a really different and interesting way. They sourced it by extracting carmine, which is a very deep red pigment, and it comes from crushing up beetles. They're called cochineal beetles, and this was used in ancient Aztec culture primarily to dye textiles. Now, to create that sort of cut crease effect, I'm going to use a flat brush like this and just pop some micellar water on it and clean up that inner corner area. So I've just loaded up this brush with micellar and I'm just gonna take it about halfway across. I'm just opening my eyes so I can make sure that I'm seeing that cut while my eyes are open as well as when they're closed. I'm using the other side of the brush for my other eye. So that's the cut. Now I'm going to go in with another flat brush. And I'm just going to grab some Shape Tape concealer. I'm just going to further carve out that shape that I created all the way from the inner corner. I'm just going to take that first red brush again and just buff those edges. And I'm going to swipe it all the way across the under eye. This one. I'm going to use Tarte Seaglass in the shade Sweet Life. So this is more like a rose gold kind of shade. I'm just going to pop it on my hand and put it on with my fingers. So the color red represents danger across many cultures, and the reason for this is actually biological in many ways. So red really stands out to humans. It has a long wavelength, which makes it very noticeable to human eyes. I'm going to add a bit more of this right in the inner corner as well. So as demonstrated in stop signs and fire trucks around the world, it's something that immediately sort of signals danger to us. The other reason it may signal danger is because it's the color of blood, which represents injury. I'm just going to take this clean fluffy brush, and I'm just going to clean up these edges, because I want them to be a bit more hazy. It's also the color of fire, again, another indicator of danger. That's it for the eyes for now. We are gonna add some mascara and stuff as well, maybe some lashes, but for now, I'm gonna leave it there. So I'm gonna start my blush by using this Flavado and Albedo Dew Tint in the color Grapefruit, and then I'll go over it with the Fenty eye color. So I'm gonna sort of do a dimensional draped blush look. Yeah, you can use any old fluffy blush brush for this. Just make sure you kind of buff it out on the back of your hand first so you don't get any patchiness. And I'm gonna start right up here under the eye, bring it all the way around my temple as well. So yeah, mostly for like biological reasons, red signals danger. And so this is why it's used in street signs and on fire trucks. But it was also used by many cultures as war paint, in particular in North and South American indigenous cultures. And this is also why you see many femme fatales in film wearing red lipstick, because they're dangerous women, dangerous and sexy women. So red doesn't only represent danger, it also represents sex appeal. So that's the first step of my draped blush. Now I'm gonna go back to the Fenty Beauty. I'm just gonna use the same brush, and again, make sure I buff that out on the back of my hand so it's not patchy. And I'm just going to take this closer to this under eye area so you get that sort of faded gradient effect. I'll blend it right in with that eyeshadow, so there was kind of no point in doing that winged look because I've just really blended it all in. So yeah, just this kind of C shape around the temple is where I'm going to focus on with this color. So why does red indicate sex appeal? Well, the color red, particularly in makeup, represents the rush of blood to the face that signals arousal, and that's also an attraction cue. Marketing has also had a big role to play in the positioning of the color red as being sexy. See Valentine's Day, red roses, red hearts, and more. In fact, there was a study conducted in 2008 of 150 heterosexual men, and in that study they found that the men were more likely to find a woman attractive if she was sporting red than any other color. So I'm going to use this Rimmel Lasting Finish lip liner in the color Red Dynamite. Dynamite. Another dangerous item. I'm just going to follow my natural lip line, but I will slightly overline just here in the Cupid's bow, but everywhere else I'm going to try and keep it pretty close to my natural line. Before I complete the lips, I'm just going to touch up the eyes a little bit. So I'm going to use some brown eyeliner just in the upper waterline just to sharpen that line and make it a little bit more defined. So I'm using the Clio Sharp So Simple eyeliner in, this color is 02 brown. So just getting right in that waterline. Can you see the difference between the two eyes now? Now I'm just going to take some brown eyeliner. So this is the Heroin Make Volume and Curl Mascara in brown. I'm just going to pop that along both the top and bottom lashes. Just going to grab some tweezers. I think this will look really cool with this look. So just get some mascara on the tip of the tweezers. These are kind of these like skinny tweezers. And I'm just going to pinch some of the bottom lashes together. And actually just looking at it, as I said, this look is just evolving as we go. I think I'm just going to add like a little bit of a brown shadow just underneath the lower lash line. So I'm just going to grab a small like pointed brush like this. And I'll grab my favorite palette. This is the Tarte Clay Play Volume 2. It's just like a contouring palette. And because I used kind of like a warmish brown, I'm just going to use this kind of neutral brown shade, I think, just to go under. Yeah, so I think that just added like a bit of depth to the eyes. So yeah, red, it represents danger and sex appeal, but what else? Well, red can also be really powerful. Just grabbing my Makeup by Mario lip palette. You can use any red for this. You can go back in with that Fenty Beauty red. I'm just going to use a combination of the two reds that are already in the palette. So I'm just going to mix those together. So going back to that point about red having the really long wavelength and it being a really visible color, wearing red can indicate to the world that yes, you want to be seen. And this kind of goes back to the whole point of why I made this channel in the first place. Makeup can be a really awesome way to communicate with the world around you without ever having to open your mouth. So yeah, if you feel like you're having trouble being heard or you're not necessarily ever the loudest person in the room, try wearing red. It could be a really great way to draw attention, if that's what you're after. So I'm taking like a short fluffy brush and I'm just going to buff this color into the lip. And I want to keep that sort of hazy edge that I blotted in with my fingers. I'm going to add a little bit of gloss and maybe just a bit more glitter all over. Just going to pop a bit of glitter on the bridge of my nose, a bit more on those inner corners. Just going to use this Mecca Max lip gloss. It's just a clear gloss. And I'll just dab it with my finger into the center of my lips. Okay, now I'm just going to powder around the center of my face. I'm just using the Kosas Cloud Set powder. And so that's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video today and learning a little bit more about the color red and about the power of the color red in makeup. Are there any other monochromatic looks you would like me to try? If so, leave a comment below. If you liked this video, please give me a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single week. Thanks so much. See you next time.